So, since I don't have a PlayStation and I can't actually play the Strive beta, I need to get my fix somehow. And this is how we're gonna do it, with this coffee talk. That is such a generic name for like a video or like a concept or a genre or something of what we're doing. But I have coffee and I'm just talking. So, I mean, that's just what I'm doing, right? So, I want to talk about, I want this to be an open discussion, and I want to know, what Strive character are you going to play first? And I mean, you know, most people are going to play Sol first or Kai first, but I want to know who you're going to, like, who in this roster are you looking at? Which characters are you looking at that you're like, yeah, I think I want to try them, and if I like them, I'm definitely going to like them either main or secondary. Just put a lot of time into that, like, that character speaks to me, right? That's kind of what I want to talk about, and I have a few, obviously. Actually, no, not obviously. And I have a few because I'm indecisive and I like having a large cast of characters that I play. So let's actually just briefly talk about all of the characters, because that's what this video is really going to be about. Let's talk about the characters in Strive and a very, very brief rundown of how they play. Let's start it simple with Sol and Kai. Sol and Kai are your very normal Shotos, your great starting characters. They're your Ryu, Ken, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Goku, Vegeta of this game, but everyone already knew that. The main difference between Sol and Kai is Sol is much more of an Unga Bunga character, as people would call him. He likes to rush in, stay in, and either grab you or just mix you up and kill you, right? He likes rush down more than he likes neutral. Kai, on the other hand, is actually much more about the neutral, since he's got a pretty large sword for some big button hits, and he's got a full screen projectile that he can play around. He is much more about poking and then converging a committal poke into his advantage state, while Sol likes to just run into his advantage state. Well, most of the time at least. So Sol is for your faster paced games, maybe people who are a bit more impatient, maybe a bit more headstrong, or do want to brute force it, more blunt players. And Kai is for people who prefer to dance around and play the neutral a little bit more. Another Shoto is, I would say, Mei, though Mei is a charge character, so she's inherently more defensive in her neutral, and her approaches, if she wants to have a charge in her approach, is much more methodical. But she is a hybrid character because she does have motion inputs, which does interest me because I'm not typically a charge fan, but I do want to try charge characters, and, you know, one with motion inputs might speak to me a little more, who knows. But she has her Totsugeku, which is her dolphins. She's all about the big damage, right? She's got very, very powerful buttons. She's not, like, slow by any means, but she's not fast either. Her attacks are heavy and strong, and that's kind of how she is, right? I mean, she's got a big anchor. I'm sure you could tell that. If she's swinging that around, chances are it's going to be a little slower than somebody's like hands, somebody's punch, but going to be a lot more hurtful than somebody's quick jab. So Mei is your charge character, and she's the charge Shoto. She's, I think, going to be pretty popular. She's a great character to start with. She is a power character, though, very strong. Xolo is your normal-based zoner. He's long range. He loves just poking you across the entire screen, and, you know, sometimes getting some really flashy combos. He's got a time stop now, which is really, really cool and great character development for him, and I love that so much. Axel is so fucking cool in this game. But yeah, that's his thing. He is much more defensive than the people we've talked about so far, one of the more defensive characters in the game, because he is a long-range zoner with pretty slow buttons most of the time. Though, don't get me wrong, he still has ways to like combo you pretty heftily. He's a strong, and I wouldn't say versatile, but he's a strong character with options. He's not defenseless at close range or anything, and he's definitely at his strength when he's far away from you, so he can hit you with his his chained comma. Next up is Milia Rage. Now, Milia is a high-speed character with a very fun and interesting-looking neutral. She has a lot of ways to get in, and she has a lot of ways to dance around, like projectiles and hitboxes and good ways to mix you up too. She's not the strongest mix-up character in the game by any means, but she does have mix-up options. She has good frame data, and she is all about high speed and neutral. That's probably why Leffen played her so much, because Fox is all about high speed and neutral, and so is Milia. Milia is great at that. There's Potemkin, who is quite the opposite. Potemkin is very big, he's got a large profile, and he's very slow. He's got big buttons mostly just because of his large profile though, so if that's something you look for in a character, there you go. But his real strength is obviously his power throw. Like, that's how the game classifies him as a character. He is a command grab machine. He is a grappler. He is a tank. His combos are short and typically either damaging or good for the space that you want. His movement options are quite limited, but once he's in, he is quite an issue to deal with. His grabs are scary, and you don't want to get hit with him, especially if you're playing Chip, who is the most frail character in this game. Like, noticeably, I think he shares HP with other characters, but he's just so much more frail. Like, he's just so much more fragile. He's not quite as good at neutral as Milia is, but he's really strong at mix-ups. He's a ninja. He's the ninja president. His mix-ups are gonna be crazy. And that's kind of the thing. He's not quite the explored character yet or anything, because, you know, I feel like he's gonna be trickier than some of the other characters in the game, so his beta appearances might make him look weaker than he actually is. I have faith that he's gonna be very strong, because he has good mix-ups, he has good damage. He just presses a lot of buttons. He has really good frame data. Though, him getting hit is, it's gonna hurt a lot. There's Leo, who is, like, classified as a balanced character, but he definitely excels at just rushing you down and mixing you up. Leo is definitely gonna be the most popular for starting mix-up characters. If you want a strong character that you just want to rush down with, Leo's probably gonna be a good character to start with, and then, you know, maybe once you get more of a grip for the game, people would go to Chip or Milia or other rushdown characters. But Leo has a strong neutral. He has a decent projectile. He has decent buttons for neutral, and he's a mix-up character. He's the monkey guy. Everybody calls him Monkey Man, Unga Bunga guy, Gorilla Dude. Like, they call him that for a reason, and that pretty much stays true. He loves to just unga bunga on you and press buttons, and you just just block, just guess right on wake up, just guess right, or, you know, use a burst, or you do something, right? Don't let him stay on you for that long, okay? That's what he wants. There's also some mid-range screen control characters like Rammelthal. She has really good neutral. She's all about poking and converging, and you know, she does have shooting, right? That's how they classify her, as a shooting character, but that's not really her strength. She can shoot out her great swords as a projectile, but her thing is more about hitting those mid-screen large, like, she's got big buttons, she's got large hitboxes, she's about controlling mid-screen space. She's not the best zoner in the game, but she's really good at controlling the space that she wants to control, especially if she's against somebody with really short range. Somebody like Axel will probably fuck her up, though, because, you know, Axel's good about controlling a full screen. She's good about controlling about half screen. Though Rammelthal is very powerful, has great combos. The only thing about her is she's kind of slow. Like, her buttons are obviously slow for a reason. But she seemed to be very well loved in the beta. Most people, she was the most popular character in the beta for a reason. She seems pretty good. Another mid-screen character is Nigiriyuki. He is a very cool samurai kind of character. He has a large sword and large buttons. He is also about mid-screen control, but he does it in a much different way than like Kai or Rammelthal. He can honestly poke you a lot. He likes to poke you down and then hit you with a very strong, pretty much one-shot move, and that's how the game classifies him, as a one-shot. So, Nigiriyuki is going to want to poke you down and then just fucking hit you with a heavy slash, or, you know, you get the idea. He wants to hit you. He's probably the most volatile out of them, because once you're in his face, he has a hard time getting out without using burst or something. Though, when you're in his range, it's very hard to get in on him. Much harder than it is to get on to Rammelthal or Kai. Nigiriyuki is a very cool character. He is also a blood drain mechanic, though most players saw that as a detriment to himself rather than a good thing. Even though it does buff him, I believe it drains his health way too much. He's a management character. You probably don't want to lose all of your health for the buff that he gets, though. You know, it probably won't matter because you're going to drain all of their health with your pokes and your one-shot slash, as the game likes to call it. It's not really a one-shot though, but it is pretty damaging. Nigiriyuki loves the neutral and loves to poke. Zetto 1 is probably the trickiest character in the game. He, you know, he's a puppet character. That's always been Zetto's thing. He is a very tricky puppet character, though he seems very, very fun and interesting to play. Nobody really played him too much because he's way too complicated to really be good with in just a beta time. He is voiced by Dio, I believe, so a lot of people are going to play him solely because of that. But he's your technical character, he's your puppet character, and he's the character you're probably going to have to put a lot of effort into to be good. Though, hopefully, it's quite rewarding for you. He's definitely one of the cooler characters in the game, and if you're really good at Zetto, people are going to respect that. You know, that's how it's always been. Zetto's a very respectable character, and he's very crazy, very technical, very tricky. So, you know, if that's your cup of tea, absolutely. I'm definitely going to try him at some point in my life. How can I not? Faust is another tricky and unique character, but in a much different way. Faust has really big buttons and committal pokes that he can get a lot off of. He has large hitboxes, and he also likes being in mid-screen, but the way that he plays is much different from your other mid-screen characters. He loves to just take the neutral and say, what the fuck is happening? Let's hit it. He throws out random projectiles, he throws out bombs, he's got banana peels, he's got little creatures, he's got very, very weird, wacky, and zany tools to use in his neutral first kit. And I mean, that's Faust. I mean, this Faust is more horror, like, holy shit, what the fuck, kind of aesthetic than a wacky, zany Faust from Xrd. But Faust is going to be, I believe, a more popular character once more people can spend some time with him, because he just throws in bullshit, right? And that's really funny. It's really charming as well. Faust is definitely the most unique character in this game. He just does whatever the fuck he wants, and, you know, respect on that. Faust looks really fun in this one. Alright, let's talk about Giovanna. Giovanna was one of the most popular characters in the beta so far, and she's just a true rushdown character. I believe she's probably the easiest rushdown character, probably the best for beginners to just grab onto and say, like, yeah. Though not saying that she's going to be like only for new players or anything. She's obviously going to be very strong in all levels of play if she's strong as a character, but she seems to be more welcoming to new players and more understandable to people who maybe haven't played Gear before. She is a pure rushdown character. She has good frame data and amazing frame traps and good mix-ups. She loves to just hit you while you are crouching in the corner. That is the last place you want to be. If you're crouching in the corner against Giovanna, you're in a very bad spot, and you have made some mistakes to lead yourself to this position. She's very cool, very stylish. She is, I like the thing she's got going on with the wolf. Reminds me of League of Legends Kindred. I like that a lot. And she wants to fucking kill you. She wants to kill you so fucking bad. Just block. Just burst. Oh god, the burst got baited. Oh god. Don't let that happen to you. Angie is a Xolo character. He looks very, very cool. He's also quite flashy. He's got great aerial combos. His dust loop is pretty damaging, and he likes to play around the neutral a lot. His projectile is quite slow on startup, but it's much more for snowballing his offense. He's got more of a traditional Tatsu, just without the traditional hitbox. He can go past projectiles, and he can parry heavies. He's also got a counter super, a parry super, which is fun. So he is much more of a defensive character by nature, since a lot of his best options are either based on parrying attacks or avoiding hitboxes, or they're slow on startup, which is for snowballing his offense. He wants to control the neutral the most he can, dance around things, and then once he has you, he's going to snowball his offense. That's kind of his idea. And then, you know, once you finally get out, he wants to go for a cheeky counter super while you press a button on wake up and continue his offensive play. That's his big trick. Angie looks very, very fun. And finally, Ino. Ino is probably the highest mobility character in the game, and that's just who she is, right? She has really good overheads. People call her the overhead queen for a reason. Her mix-ups are very, very strong. Her combos are very, very flashy, and she's got quite the versatile projectile that actually scales more that you use it. That's why it's called antidepressant scale. Also, music reference. Her projectile is really, really good for meaty attacks, as they said, because it stuns them for a very long time, and as somebody who, for some reason, loves using Hadouken as a meaty attack in Street Fighter, I think that's going to speak to me quite a lot for some reason. Though, Ino is a very fast character. She can really stay in your face, and she can really mix you up. That's kind of her thing. That's where her strength really is. Though she can play the neutral with her quite versatile projectile that can go up, down, or mid. She also has, like, most of her moves are all about getting in and attacking you. She definitely seems like a hit and run character. She's gonna attack you, mix you up, and then jump out. There's some projectiles, get in, mix you up, jump out, until you're dead pretty much. And yeah, that's cool. That's, you know, that's who she is. So, that was a pretty brief synopsis of every character in the game, from what I know of the beta. I'm not the smartest player in the world, I'm the most top tier player in the world or anything, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, please. I just realized how fast I was talking that entire time, good lord. Anyway, who are you gonna play when Strive comes out? I think most people are gonna start with Solkai, and then they're gonna move on to their actual mains, which is pretty standard for games like this, though I think I'm going to start with like a dumber option, because, you know, why would I start with the characters who you're meant to start with, right? A lot of people are going to do that too. I think the character I'm going to start with is probably Milia, as she just has a really cool neutral that I want to play, and, you know, I like her speed, I like her neutral, I like her combos, I like her style, I like her damage. I feel like I'm definitely going to start with her. I don't know if I'll stick with her for the duration of Strive, but, you know, after that, I definitely do want to try out Rammelthal. Having a mid-screen character is always fun. She's very stylish. She was the most popular for a reason, right? She's Rammelthal. People love Ram. And, you know, Angie. Angie seems pretty fun to try. I, again, don't know if I'll like him or not, but he's definitely, I think he would be my defensive option. Rammelthal's, like, the mid-screen option. And Millie is the high-speed offense option. But, you know, Angie seems fun. He seems flashy. He seems cool. I like him a lot. Though the character I'm most interested in playing is, you know, obviously I've talked about her way too much on this channel, is Ino. Dude, Ino looks so fucking fun in this game, dude. She's so stylish, so cool, and she just speaks to me in a way that some of these other characters don't. Her projectile is weird and stupid, and I love it. Her mobility is really just strange and really interesting and really cool, and her mix-ups are really fun. Like, she just looks like a really fun character to play. I just want to play her so fucking bad. But I don't think I'm going to start with her. I think I'd rather learn with a more, like, down-to-earth character, because, you know, it's traditionally been more technical and tricky and strange than other characters, so that's why I think I'm going to start with Milia and then eventually branch out to maining Ino. But, you know, what do I know? We'll see. I'm definitely going to try my hardest to be an Ino player, because she's the character I like the most in the roster right now. So, that's where I'm at with that. So, yeah, who are you going to play? What characters interest you? I'd love to talk about it, and, you know, I need to get my Strive fixed somehow, because I don't have a PlayStation. I can't play the beta. War as hell. And that's disappointing. But, you know, I still love talking about it. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tell me what characters you're going to play in Strive. And I'll see you later.